Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I did not keep this as a secret, obviously, and that is I have a soft spot for the Serbs. Yes, for that nation. I consider that nation ballsy and with character. And I want all the best to happen to that nation. With that being said, I think that they should be the only ones in charge of their own destiny as a nation. And unfortunately, since they are independent, that's the way the Serbs seem to be, and they do not bend the knee to left or a right, they are being punished. And the punishment comes, surprise, surprise, from the democratic, so-called civilized capitalist world, the free world. And why is that? They don't follow orders, or they are accused of following the Kremlin's order, because nowadays, if you are not following the party line, you must be exactly the boogeyman's man. So what happened here? I think this is one of the last attempts, I would suspect organized by the West, to destabilize and provoke a civil war in Serbia. Why? Because Serbia is not a jackal state, is not a servant state. The Serbian people do not agree, or some Serbs do not agree to follow orders. They are independently minded. They want to be free. They want to make their own destiny. Unfortunately, like in any group, in any family, in any tribe, in any nation, you have people who are feeble-minded, people who fall easily for the passion of money and play for external interests that do not have at heart this guy's nation's interest, obviously. And today is the 14th of August 2025, and we have violence again erupted in Serbia, nationwide protest in Serbia. So let me show you. I'm not going to show you the video because we are on YouTube, and YouTube is okay with violence showing, in certain instances, but not with others, as long as you play on to the narrative. Russia Today. Violence erupts during nationwide protest in Serbia. More than 60 supporters of the ruling party and 16 police officers were injured in a standoff in Novi Sad. Officials say violent clashes have broken out across Serbia between anti-government protesters and ruling party supporters, leaving dozens injured. So Serbs against Serbs. Did you notice? Broken out across Serbia. Now, do you think that these were spontaneous protests? If it's a spontaneous protest that occurs in one city, and then maybe it goes to another one, but not spontaneously in one day. That is organized protest. Now, I am for protesting, don't get me wrong. If the government is tyrannical, I am all for it. Okay? But if you protest, you should do it peacefully. If you don't do it peacefully, it is, in the best interest of the population who doesn't protest to be kept safe by the government. That's the way it works in any country on this planet, unless there are orders given by the government to hold off on the police upholding the law and enforcing the law. Like, for instance, it was in Seattle, Washington. It was in Portland, Oregon. It was in Minnesota, and so on during those Black Lives Matter protests. Remember those ones? All right. So, these guys want a civil war in Serbia. So what happened here? The Balkan country has been racked by unrest for months. Activists are demanding early parliamentary elections and accountability for the deadly collapse of a railway station canopy late last year. Did you hear the reasons why these guys are turning violent? They want parliamentary elections early. Why? It's like, let's say you have some Democrats in the United States of America starting breaking stuff, demanding that there's early presidential elections because they think that, I don't know, it should be. Trump is, let's say, a tyrant. Is it like that? What do you think will Trump do? Do you think we're going to say, okay, yes, we're going to do that? Okay, let's say Trump does that. And then what? Let's say the other guy wins, whomever that might be. Okay, Tsukuluku. So Mr. Tsukuluku wins. And then the Republicans do the same thing the Democrats did to Trump. They start protesting and demanding early elections. And then Tsukuluku again agrees. And after about 2 weeks, they're going to have another election. And then instead of Tsukuluku, Pukuluku wins. And Pukuluku, being a Republican, he gets in power. And again, the Democrats, after 2 weeks, they revolt and they say, we want again early elections. And then Pukuluku loses the election and Tsaka wins. And every 2 weeks, you're going to have unrest and a change of government because the people demanded it by breaking stuff. Is that the way a society functions? No. In the West, that is okay. Portrayed what's going on in Serbia, these demands seem to be acceptable. But if you apply them to their baboons in France, Germany, Great Britain, United States of America, no. This destabilizes the order in the society and we plumb them up. And the second one, do you think this plays a role into demanding the early elections? Collapse of a railroad station canopy last year. So if tomorrow in the United States of America a bridge collapses because let's say it was built in 1950s, so it passed its 52 years guarantee, let's say it collapses, do you demand the government to just go to hell? Is that the government's fault that that particular bridge collapsed? I mean, what's going on? Okay, and if it's the government's fault, let's say the government goes, and again, Tsukuluku wins, let's say in Serbia. And then, I don't know, let's say a building collapses. A building just collapses because it's old, rotten and so on, let's say from 1920s. Then these guys can go and break stuff, demand the government be kicked out because of the building collapsed? Is that how it goes? I mean, we can change a government every 5 minutes then. This is acceptable when you have a narrative and you push towards the change of a system and a government in Serbia. That's what it is. They can find whatever reason they want in order to divorce. Like you have a problem, you have okay with the wife or to a spouse, let's put it neutral, and all of a sudden you say, God damn it, I like crystal glasses. And I say, she doesn't like that, so it's gonna divorce you because crystal glasses are offensive to her. And that's it. Is that acceptable? No, but to her or to him, this is acceptable. You understand? Of course you understand. I don't expect you to be baboons here. Only elevated, sophisticated people. Not too sophisticated, because if you're too sophisticated, that means you drink soybean latte, you buy this kind of car, you wear your helmets when you go with the bike, those kind of people, which is weak, feeble. All right, let's move on. The fiercest standoff took place on Wednesday in the city of Novi Sad, where protesters gathered around the office of the ruling Serbian Progressive Party. Progressive towards what? What kind of cliff? The party's supporters and protesters threw flares and other objects at each other, with demonstrators also smashing the building's windows. The police should go and restore order. Serbian President Aleksandar Vucic said that 64 people were injured at the premises of SNS in Novi Sad alone. He claimed that the protest, I'm quoting, the protesters approached from the rear with sticks, cannon shot and attacked, adding that the pro-government activists will not retreat. They opposed the beaters and blockaders, whom he called thugs. Now, This is the version of the president, okay? The president added that 16 police officers who intervened were also injured while accusing unnamed foreign powers of orchestrating the unrest. And I'm quoting, persons who violated the law will be apprehended. Tonight, we have averted a catastrophic scenario planned by someone from abroad. Now, you know what's strange? These kind of things happen only in countries where the democratic world wants the regime changed. And they give the spin that the free people revolt against tyranny. I don't see anybody in the United States of America revolting, do you? Oh, there's no tyranny. My bad. Okay, so you see in Georgia, unrest. The European protesters. In Serbia, unrest. The European protesters. My friends, these guys work with that method. Not that the other ones would not work in the same way. In this case, they want Serbia under their thumb. And this is the European, some interest in Europe. Some interest in Europe. Not Romania's interest, or Czech Republic, or Slovakia, or, I don't know, Estonia, Lithuania, Bulgaria, Poland. No, it's a little bit more to the west. So I hope that the Serbs will be able to again withstand the outside attack on their nation. As I said, if the government is tyrannic, or I don't think it's tyrannic, but if it is, do like they do in America. Use all means necessary. Remember Malcolm X or Malcolm Little? By all means necessary. That was acceptable for that guy, somehow, you know exactly why. But for these guys, it is not. So why don't you work within the system? Like the United States of America, in a civilized society. Democratic society, let people vote. They voted. Who counted the vote? The voting machines in America, which is the perfect, the most fair, the fairest way of election official is to put something in a computer, and the computer will do this and give you the results. But hey, we are the democracy of the world. All right, my friends. I hope the Serbs sort this thing out and will not fall like Armenia and Azerbaijan into the hands of the democrat, civilized, capitalist West. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Now, I'm not trying to say that things in the West are bad. I'm trying to say that certain things in the West are bad. And they're not the way they tell us they are beautiful. So they lie. That's why I'm making these videos. It's not that I hate the West. I think the West is fantastic. The problem is they lie a lot. And they change regimes. And they're hypocrites. I don't like that. And they say we're not. But they are. This is what I don't like. At least if you're a thug and you act like a thug, which they do, say it, man. Don't say I'm the free world, I'm the best, I'm better than everybody else. I tell you everybody else how they should run their families and their nations and all that because I'm perfect. I'm better than all of you. Don't say that. We all can see. You're not. You're better, but not to the level you think you are. So a little bit the nose, a little bit down, the beak smaller, and be a little bit more humble. Defend your interests. But these guys are not about defending their interests. They are about conquering, taking over other nations, enslaving, if you want, other nations, in my opinion, as a free person, as much as these guys allow me to be a free person. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.